Okay. Looks like we're rocking and a rolling. Let me see. Let me pull up Discord. Let me pull up an internet browser. Let's see here. This one, that one. I said that one, damn you. Thank you. Okay. Cool, cool. Rock and roll. Alright, so live chat. Let's get the link. Let's let all the good folks know. Servers are down. Gonna do some writing. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, I think that sounds good. Sounds good enough to me. Send that out to all the good people. AJ, Chicken, Azure, hello, welcome in. Are the servers down on every platform? I do not know. They're down on PlayStation, though. That is for damn sure. Oh, oops. That is not... I need to get the rest of the words. There we go. Copy. Paste. Post. Cool. Good shit, good shit. Alright, we got that. Alrighty to go. You're here early before the Discord announcement? Great shit. Akali, hello. Welcome in. I'm wondering if maybe I should try and have some, like, chill music or something. Like, maybe throw up, like, the lo-fi stream that's always going on, you know? Just for a little bit of something to help break some of the silence. Who? Hello, welcome in. The same thing you said last stream. Of course it would be PlayStation servers that go down, of course. Right, dude? Right. Haru, hello. Welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. So, as you can see, we're doing something a little bit different today. You know, logging on to Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. This is what we get right here. Server is not available, so... Yeah, and I like, just did this. So this is, like, as of right now, shit's fucked, right? So, yeah. That's kind of where we're at with that, sadly. Phoenix, Proto Man, hello. Welcome in. Let me go on ahead and swap back on over to this. Of course, if there is some time... if the servers do come back up, we can maybe squeeze a little bit of time at the end of stream or something, try and get some GP or something along those lines. But for right now, since a lot of people, when I asked last night on stream, I asked, hey, would you guys be interested in hearing the story of Zuki? Most people said yes. There wasn't a single person who said no, they wouldn't be interested. Jay Swish, hello. Welcome in, dude. So, yeah, here's where we're at. I figured we would try something new, but still Dragon Ball related. For those of you who don't know, Zuki is my main CAC that you always see on the channel, of course. And when I made her back in 2017 sometime, I had my own kind of headcanon, and I actually did start writing her story up, but unfortunately, I don't really remember. Proto, hello, welcome in. I don't remember if I said hello to you, but hello in case I didn't. But yeah, since so many people said that they would be interested, and, you know, the servers are down. It's also raining a little bit where I'm at. I've also got myself some tea right here. Got myself some vanilla chai, specifically. And yeah, it seems like a pretty good night for it. So we'll just kind of see how this goes. I'm thinking, like I said just a minute ago, maybe I'll try and put on like some lo-fi or something like that. Here, let me see if I can't find something. Okay, I don't think that's coming through on stream. Let me do this. How's something kind of like that? Can you guys hear that? And also, how does the text look? Can you guys see the text clearly? Text is great? Okay, cool, cool. Rock some good old Dragon Ball music. Okay, it seems like it would be a little bit loud. Let me maybe adjust that a little bit. How do the audio levels sound? Is the mixing good? Can you hear me and hear the music a little bit? Text is good. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. How does vanilla chai taste? So here in America, at least, chai refers to a specific kind of tea with cinnamon and spices in it. But it basically tastes like vanilla and cinnamon is what this tea flavor is. Blindside, hello, welcome in, welcome in. Audio's good, not too loud. The music to voice ratio is good. It's good so far. Yeah, chai and tea is the same word, but like I said, here in America, we refer to chai as a specific kind of tea. I don't know if it's the same worldwide, but I mean, it's basically, they basically mean the same thing, I guess. You want some tikka masala? Just like how people say they like chai tea, it's like saying tea. Yeah, well, it's what it says on the box, so I don't really know what you want from me. Okay. Well. Guess I'll take a sip of my tea and we'll get started. Now, this is not really my preferable medium to do this. If I had my choice and if I had any kind of artistic skills at all, I would definitely be doing this in like a manga panel type of a style rather than just typing it up like a novel or something. But, you know, as a writer, I'd say that I'm right about average. I used to really love writing and was always told I was really good at it in elementary school. And then my 8th grade English teacher, language arts teacher, whatever, really thought I was a good writer, thought I really had a lot of potential. Then in high school, it would probably depend on what teacher you ask as to what my writing capabilities were. Zero, hello, welcome in. And then in college, I'm pretty sure that my professors would tell you that I have no writing talent whatsoever, at least as far as the English ones go. But a fun story about me for a history class once, I actually got a 100% on an essay that I wrote that was about a book that I never read. I just read Cliff Notes, and that was it. I got 100 on my essay, so yeah. Unlike drawing and sketching, writing is something that I can do to some degree here. So I guess we might as well go on ahead and get started here. Now, Zuki's story starts on planet Vegeta, right? You know, and just in case, you know, I'm sure we're all Dragon Ball fans here and more or less know the story of Dragon Ball, so, you know, just ahead of time, I guess, spoiler alert if there's shit that you've missed. But as we all know, planet Vegeta gets destroyed by Frieza, Slayer, hello. Welcome in, man. Craziest luck for that essay? Nah, dude. It all boils down to skill. That's skill right there. Not only did I get a 100% on that essay, but the professor actually left a note saying that it was the best one he's read. So, that's how you know I did a good job. But anyway, as we know, Planet Vegeta gets destroyed by Frieza, and Zuki is about 5 years old, somewhere in that ballpark, for that event. Right? And her father, Gordon, knows something is up, right? For this continuity, we're going with the story that says that Saiyans and Tuffles lived on the same planet, right? And this is already at the point, Tuffles have been eradicated. But this is kind of in between that and destruction of Planet Vegeta, where we're going to begin here. Do I get a milk mustache when I drink milk? No, I get milk in my stash. Is how that goes down. What up with the word pad? Well, what's the title say, man? It says I'm writing up the story of Zuki. So, anyway, Gordon, Zuki's father. Yo, what's up, Sir Broly? Welcome in, welcome in. You might get a capture card? Fuck yeah. So, I keep getting distracted by reading chat. I'm really not used to these kinds of streams, can you tell? But basically, our story starts. Gordon, Zuki's father, knows something's up. He doesn't know exactly what, but he knows some shit's about to go down on Planet Vegeta. Is basically kind of where we're starting at. And so basically, Gordon, the father of Zuki, is training her so that way, when the time comes, he can send her off-world. Is basically kind of where we begin here. And I think that the beginnings... I really think it's hardest to get started, was always my challenge. Now, I will be taking, small suggestions from chat. So if you have something that you'd like to try and run past me, feel free to try. Not saying that means that I'm going to take every or any suggestion that chat throws my way. I don't want to be having people backseat writing for me. But if anybody does have any suggestions at any point, I will at least see it. So. Alrighty, Slayer. For show. So, what would be a good hook? What would be a good way to begin this? Because anybody who does happen to read this, or anybody who is here, is already a Dragon Ball fan. So I don't know about how deep I need to get into descriptors of, describing Planet Vegeta, or, describing Frieza, or, any other known locations or characters in the story is probably one thing that I'm going to get hung up on, whether I need to describe them or not. Because it's not like all of this stuff is going to be my own original idea. It's mainly just the characters and the story that they follow. So let's see here. Maybe we can just start with something simple. We don't gotta be all fancy right off the bat. It's not like I can't go back and use the backspace button. So, our story, you guys are gonna learn just how bad I am at typing, man. But the fucking most used button on my keyboard is backspace for sure. Our story begins on a planet named Vegeta. Planet Vegeta is the home of the Saiyan race. You can't type if you don't look at your keyboard? Oh, shit, man. They didn't put the covers on the keyboards for you in school, then. Here's a waffle, thanks. And on this planet, we find an older Saiyan named Gordon and his daughter Zuki. Gordon is an older Saiyan. Although he may be past his prime, he is still a well-respected warrior due to his roles, due to his, what do we say? Due to his prowess in the Saiyan Tuffle War. Let me ask you guys one thing, because the Tuffles are also known as the Sufurians, right? I forget exactly how that's spelt. For the purposes of this writing project here, should I just say Tuffle? Because I think that's what most English speakers would be familiar with, or should I use Sufurian to refer to them? What do you guys think? I think Tuffle is easier to say, so I think I might stick with that. Having both will be nice? No, we're going to stick with one or the other. Tuffle? Probably Tuffle, I suppose. Is my PS4 off? Yes, sir. Alright, so this is pretty unanimous. People think I should go with Tuffle, and I think Tuffle's easier to say, and so we're going to stick with Tuffle for basically this whole project then. Gordon is an older Saiyan. Although he may be past his prime, he is still a well-respected warrior due to his prowess in the Saiyan Tuffle War. Since the Saiyans were, I think indentured is a good word, were indentured by the evil galactic overlord Frieza, he has spent much less time on the battlefield. So one thing about Gordon is kind of a botanist, as weird as that might sound, as a formerly well-renowned Saiyan warrior, right? But it's as the old saying goes, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener at war. So basically, Gordon's specialty is creating and improving Cybermen. So he's basically like a Cyberman scientist, you can say. Has spent, well, we're not going to say he spent much less time because he's basically not in the field. So let's definitely get. He has. We're indentured by the evil galactic overlord Frieza. He has since ceased his life as a warrior and has instead focused all his time and energy into the creation and refinement of plant beings called the Cybermen. How does that sound? Since the Saiyans were indentured by the evil galactic overlord Frieza, he has since ceased his life as a warrior and has instead focused all his time and energy into the creation and refinement of plant beings called the Cybermen. I feel like we can change... I really don't like referring to them as plant beings. I feel like we can get a better descriptor than that. Like, there's gotta be... Like, I'm liking everything we got so far, but these plant beings, I feel like it's just not good. I'm gonna look up Cybermen and see if there's, like, a better word for them. Called cultivators in the Viz translation of the manga are green humanoid creatures that grow from planted seeds placed in the ground. Of plant-like humanoids, I think is what we'll say then. Plant-like humanoids. I definitely like that better. Yalan, hello, what's up, man? We are writing the story of Zuki. Who's your favorite character in all of the Dragon Ball series? I'm a huge Vegeta fan, but the more time goes on, I feel like I lean more towards Future Trunks being my favorite character. But I will always love Vegeta. Alright, so he has instead focused all his time and energy into the creation and refinement of, I think we're going to say, the plant-like humanoids called Cybermen. And I don't know if they're a proper noun or not, so just to be safe, we'll capitalize that. When he's not buried knee-deep in his work, he spends the rest of his time raising and training his daughter. Here. We'll say his 5-year-old daughter named Zuki. We'll get to there, Akali. We are definitely getting there. I feel like I might have to go back and refine some of these sentences that I've made already, but Gordon would be considered a Saiyan elite. Gordon is a Saiyan elite, so that might tell you about who he knows. I'm wondering if I should maybe expand a little bit right after here, after saying although he may be past his prime, he is still a well-respected warrior due to his prowess in the Saiyan Tuffle War. I'm gonna say due to his... due to his successful successful battle strategies that would ultimately aid in the Saiyan's victory. In the Saiyan... Okay, let me read this out loud, make sure that sounds right. Although he may be past his prime, he is still a well-respected warrior due to his successful battle strategies that would ultimately aid in the Saiyan's victory in the Saiyan Tuffle War. I think that's better. I think that's a little bit more descriptive. Tells you a little bit more about who Gordon is and how he's not just... Because Gordon's not a brute, especially not anymore. You know, he would have been a Saiyan elite, but he also would have been amongst, you know, the smartest of Saiyans out there. OP Silver, hello, welcome in. Yes, this is ultimately the story of Zuki, who is the main CAC you see me using in Xenoverse 2. So yeah, when he's not buried knee-deep in his work, he spends the rest of his time raising and training his 5-year-old daughter named Zuki. And we'll say, with the aid of the Cybermen that he creates. Alrighty, Broly. Certainly do wish that you could stick around some more and learn more about Zuki, but the VOD will always be there. So if you ever want to kind of see where I'm going with this and where I leave off, feel free to do that. But I don't know if you'll be able to grind Xenoverse 2 because of the servers, but well, if you can, then kick some ass, guy. No, Zuki's mother is not Fasha. Zuki's mother is a woman named Letta, but she's dead already at this point. Will Zuki have a sibling? Zuki has a half-brother. You guys have actually seen Zuki's half-brother featured on the channel probably more than you realize. Zuki's half-brother is Nasu, the character that you guys always see me use in my skill breakdowns. Yeah, that's actually exactly how you spell it, Phoenix. They're working on Switch? Well, good shit, man. Yeah, I guess it's just a PlayStation thing, Silver, because when I tried to log in before stream, I could not log on. It forced me into offline mode. Okay, so when he's not buried knee-deep in his work, he spends the rest of his time raising and training his 5-year-old daughter named Zuki with the aid of the Cybermen that he creates. Yeah, what Broly said. Don't forget to leave a like on the stream, folks. It'll let me know that you guys are enjoying the content and learning about these characters and that you like chill streams. If this stream is successful enough, we'll probably end up doing another one maybe next week or something. No, I haven't bought anything with star coins. I took AP English my senior year of high school, and I barely passed because my teacher sucked balls. My teacher was the least helpful when it came to me trying to understand the material and right the way she wanted me to. Will Zuki's brother be active in her life? He's gonna make appearances, but he's off planet Vegeta right now. Gordon has just finished creating I don't know, has just finished working on his... Phantom, hello, welcome in. Your teacher tried to discourage you from studying extra for your class. That's stupid. You hate math? I hated math. I don't hate math. I'm competent at math, but the thing is I can understand what's being told to me, but I can't apply that knowledge, right? I understand what's being said, but I don't necessarily do good when it comes to applying the knowledge. Yes, I like to name my Dragon Ball characters in a conventional Akira Toriyama type of way. It probably wouldn't hurt to have a descriptor of Zuki. I can always rearrange stuff around if I think it'd be better to do it earlier or later. Zuki is a... Zuki has purple eyes and long, spiky, dark red-brown hair. And is very much eager to get stronger and learn all she can from her well-known and well-respected Saiyan elite father. Right? How does that sound? Zuki has purple eyes and long, spiky, dark red/brown hair, and is very much eager to get stronger and learn all she can from her well-known and well-respected Saiyan elite father. Yeah, so in Xenoverse 2, the color that I have selected for Zuki's hair is the darkest red on the line of red colors here. Let me look up the color burgundy, and let me make sure that would be... Yeah, that's a little too red. Like that's a little too on the red side, I think. Thanks for the pancakes, man. Yeah, deep dark red. That might be a way to go. Let me look up some dark red color names. So from this thing that I'm looking at here, mahogany actually seems like it would be the closest one. Let me see if I can pull this up on stream here. Oops. Yeah, that looks like it's showing up good. Yeah, this mahogany right here, I mean, you guys have seen what Zuki looks like on stream several times before. I think this mahogany color is probably the closest thing that we got. Mahogany! Yeah, I think that this is the closest that we're gonna get, because it's like a very it's dark, it's a little bit brownish. So yeah, let's dark mahogany colored hair. There we go. Zuki has purple eyes and long, spiky, dark mahogany-colored hair, and is very much eager to get stronger and learn all she can from her well-known and well-respected Saiyan elite father. Okay. Maybe we can go back and give some descriptions on Gordon. I'm not really sure what to say about him, though. I'll probably come back to that. I think we'll loop back around at some point and add some descriptors to Gordon. So let's... we're just going to do a little parentheses here. Add some descriptors, I think. We'll just do that, and we'll kind of use that for notes. What vegetable is Zuki based off of? Zucchini. She get that style from her mother? I might be able to pull up, like, the Letta CAC that I actually did create at one point to kind of show you what she looks like. But we're not going to worry about her too much right now, just because, you know, like I said, she's already passed away at this time, which will probably get explained before Zuki gets sent off in a pod. What's zucchini? Look it up, man. Yeah, I could do descriptors when Gordon is interacting with Zuki, but I kind of feel like the earlier, the better. But I wonder if this has a dark mode. Let me see. Page setup, maybe? See, this is the first time I've ever actually used, like, WordPad. I'm used to, like, a fully fledged Microsoft Word from way back in the day. I didn't even know I had this app on my computer. I've actually been using Notepad instead. You know, this whole thing for when I write my scripts and stuff. And this has a dark mode, but I like the layout and formatting of this. Plus, I've already got it all set up nice on stream, so I don't want to... Let's see, view... Yeah, I kind of like the second half of that sentence. I was very much eager to... Yeah, grow is probably a better... Grow stronger and learn all she can from her. I definitely like putting Saiyan Elite. Saiyan Elite. I definitely like that wording better. Learn all she can from her well-known and well-respected father, a Saiyan Elite. Okay, Gordon has just finished his work for the day. Will this have super elements or GT? That is a long, long ways away, Phoenix. But it's gonna have super elements in it. It's gonna take more inspiration from Super, and I don't know that there really will be much in terms of GT. Except you could say that there is one villain that I have in mind whose name is Oliver, who you might say is kind of inspired by Baby, but he definitely is different. Gordon has just finished his work for the day and is about to get Zuki prepared for her daily training, which she has already gotten a head start on by doing basic exercises such as push-ups, sit-ups, and things of the like in their training room while she waits for her father. Gordon has just finished his work for the day and is about to get Zuki prepared for her daily training, which she has already gotten a head start on by doing basic exercises such as push-ups, sit-ups, and things of the like in their training room while she waits for her father. While she awaits her father, I think is maybe a little bit better wording. All right, Zuki. Gordon says as he enters the room. It's time to begin your training for today. The training I've been giving you so far has been mere child's play. It's time ah, man. How do I want to word this? The training I've been giving you so far has been mere child's play. It's time to test your skills for real. I feel like there's a better way. Like, this part of the sentence right here, I really don't like. It's time... It's time for us to take things more seriously. From here on out, things Donka, hello, welcome in. From here on out, things are truly going to get challenging. All right, I think I like that. The training I've been giving you so far has been mere child's play. It's time for us to take things more seriously. From here on out, things are truly going to get challenging. No, I think something a little bit more short and concise. Things are going to get serious. Zuki responds, "Okay, Papa." I'm ready. I've been waiting for this. Okay, Papa, I'm ready. I've been waiting for this. I can't wait to show you the results of my training. I forgot a space? Is this where it is? I guess I did. No, I didn't forget a space. That's weird. That just doesn't really look like there is a space there. That's bizarre. Whatever. Alright, so... Gordon then says... Up until now, I've been pitting you up against weaker Cybermen, against groups of weaker Cybermen. Up until now, I've been pitting you up against groups of weaker Cybermen, as those are the types of battles we Saiyans often face. But today will be different. Today, you will only be fighting one Cyberman. Today you will only be fighting one Cyberman, but it will be of a similar power level to your own. Okay. So, Kurisu, hello, welcome in. As far as I'm aware, the servers are just down on PlayStation, which is what I play on. So, also, if there's anybody out there who is able to, please keep me updated on if the servers do come back up on PlayStation, please. Because like I said, if we do have some time for it, I would like to try and get some GP in today. Today, you will only be fighting one Cyberman, but it will be of a similar power level to your own. Perhaps even slightly greater. How's that? Zuki, with a bright look in her eye, doing my homework. That's funny, Crow. Welcome in, man. No, this is something that is completely optional and voluntary. This isn't anything that I gotta do, but it's just something that I want to do, and a lot of people expressed last stream that they would like to see it. So, here I am, typing up the story of my CAC. How am I doing? I'm doing good, man. I'm having myself a nice, chill night, honestly. I am quite enjoying myself. Honestly, I am rather enjoying doing this. I'm kind of bummed out that we haven't seen Solo show up, especially considering how he said he wanted to do some editing for me, as far as this story goes. with a bright look in her eye, excitedly says, "Right. I'm ready." Yeah, no, honestly, having it up here on stream is honestly a really good form of a backup. Unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to do something simple like copy-paste, but at least I'd be able to look at it and just retype it all out. Worst comes to worst. Gordon then plants... Gordon then plants a Cyberman seed into a large planting pot that he brought in with him. Okay. So I'm kind of thinking of exactly how I want this training room to be set up, because I have an idea of where we're going from here with a character that we are about to meet. And it's actually going to be a character that you guys know from the cast of Dragon Ball itself. You can probably take a guess as to who that is here coming up, but I'm just kind of thinking, do I want this training room to just be one big room, or would there be kind of like a separate section, kind of like if you think about a voice acting booth, right? There's the booth where the voice actor is in there basically by themselves with the soundproofing stuff and the microphone, and then there's like the director's booth where the director sits and watches, but from like beyond usually a glass pane or something like that. He thought I was going to play the story mode. No, dude, no. You think that it would have that director's booth? Yeah, see, I kind of like the vibe of that, because then it gives me maybe a second direction that I can go for how this other character comes in. From the pot emerged a somewhat grotesque... I don't think that's how you spell that, but... From the pot emerged a somewhat grotesque little creature, similar in size to the young Zuki. I don't want the Cybermen to just be, like, green, like how they are in the show. I kind of want to, like, use some different colors to kind of... Because we're not going to be using the Cybermen too much, but I think that there is going to be a couple more Cybermen training sessions that we have in here. Use DBL? You mean like Dragon Ball Legends? Do they have different colored DBL Cybermen? What color do you guys think that I should make this Cyberman? I don't want it to be green. Orange or brown, maybe? Okay, okay. The creature's skin... Let's see, we'll do like a... was of an orangish hue. And had claws on both hands and feet. And had a rather veiny, I don't know if that's the correct spelling, had a rather veiny looking head. I think that works. Yeah, maybe if I do end up doing another Cyberman thing, maybe we'll do brown for the next Cyberman if we add another one. Creature's skin. Its head. It let out a shrill shriek as it emerged. Let's add some descriptors in here. Had menacing claws on both hands and feet, and had a rather veiny-looking head. It let out a shrill shriek as it emerged. Well now, since you have your opponent I'll be residing, I'll say, I will go reside in the observation chamber. And see how you fare. If anything goes sideways, I will put a stop to this training session. But I don't believe that I'll have any reason to do that now, will I? Will I? I don't know. Do I put a... I forget. Do I put a comma here? Because I'm trying to be like this. Gordon proclaimed proudly. I'm not exactly sure what the specific punctuation right here would be. No way. Shouted Zuki. I'm gonna beat this. Let's see, I'm gonna beat... I want to say something like, I'm gonna beat the lights out of this Cyberman, or like, I'm gonna beat the tar out of this Cyberman. I'm just trying to think of like what way would be the most Zuki way to say it. I'm gonna beat the living daylights out of this Cyberman. I think I like that. I'm gonna beat the living daylights out of this Cyberman. Can you guys imagine that? Just a little 5-year-old Zuki. I'm gonna beat the living daylights out of this Cyberman. I think that's great. I like that. Out of this Cyberman. I'm gonna beat the living daylights out of the Cyberman. There we go. Gordon let out an amused scoff and made his way to the observation room. Now then, I'm kind of at a junction where either... So I'll just say it. Soon enters King Vegeta himself to have a conversation with Gordon. I don't know if I should insert King Vegeta here, so that way he can also observe Zuki as she fights, or if I should have King Vegeta show up sometime after Gordon is done with this training session with Zuki. Because King Vegeta, one way or another, he needs to have a conversation with Gordon about Frieza, basically, is where this is going. Now, as to the way that I want to go about that, that's kind of where I'm at right now, is do I have him come in now as Zuki's about to start fighting? Or do I just have the conversation after the training session? Because I don't know which one would be better. Because then, instead of describing the fight to an extensive degree, I could just kind of describe the fight as, oh, you know, they're starting small, and, you know, they're throwing punches, and, you know, it's something that would kind of be going on in the background, and then by the time Vegeta and Gordon conclude their conversation, I could add some more detailed descriptors of, like, oh, Zuki let out a blast more powerful than she ever has before and obliterated the Cybermen as like they're finishing up the conversation. Okay. But yeah, what do you guys think? Do you think that King Vegeta should get to observe Zuki fighting this Cyberman, or do you think it would be better to have King Vegeta come in after that's all concluded? Because I'm stuck on this right now, because he should watch, come after. Because the thing is I don't... No, you are so far off base, dude. You are so far off base with where I'm going with this, dude. So here's what I'm thinking. The main thing is I don't know how I want to play this fight out exactly. This might be something that I come back to. So what I might do for now is just kind of put like a placeholder sentence, like insert fighting details here. Because basically where this fight is going to go is Zuki beats the Cybermen, but not without getting a good beating of her own. And basically Gordon is going to put her in a healing pod afterwards, so that way she can be ready for the next training session, because this is basically what he's going to be doing in this time. Because basically Gordon is a part of the coup that's trying to deal with Frieza. I forget exactly where. I think it was in the Broly movie or something like that, where we see glimpses of like King Vegeta on Frieza's spaceship with a small group of men, but they get wiped out. Basically, Gordon is a part of that whole scenario. So yeah, that's why King Vegeta is going to be coming in to talk to Gordon, because as we stated earlier on in the story, although he may be... What the fuck is going on here? Although he may be past his prime, he's still a well-respected warrior due to his successful battle strategies that would ultimately aid in the Saiyans' victory in the Saiyan Tuffle War. So we've established Gordon as a pretty smart guy. right? So King Vegeta wants his help, just like in the Saiyan Tuffle War, to try and do something about this whole Frieza situation. That is where this is going. So I don't know. I don't know if I want to just do a quick description of this fight. I think I'm going to do that for right now. I don't think I'm going to do this whole choreographed blow for blow, blast for blast type of thing right now. We might go back and do something like that, but I think for now what we're going to do is we're just going to do something a little along these lines. Zuki would ultimately win her fight against this Cyberman. But she would not emerge victorious unscathed. Victioioia. What the fuck is wrong with me, dude? I'm having a stroke or something. Victorious unscathed. I don't know if unscathed is really the right word here. She would not emerge victorious without a struggle. I think that's better. Yeah, I think this is a solid placeholder sentence. Like I said, I don't know how I want to choreograph this, but we'll. I think we'll leave that. Zuki would have several bruises, perhaps a couple of minor fractures. Several bruises and perhaps a couple of minor fractures. And I think what I'll say is, after having blasted the Cyberman because the way that the fight's going to end for sure is she's going to do like a key blast of some sort. I don't know if I want to make it like a full power energy wave or like a full power energy ball type of blast, but that's basically how it's going to how the battle's going to end. After having finished her most grueling training session yet. After having finished her most grueling training session yet, Zuki would turn to the window from which her father was watching her from. I want to make sure the word that I'm thinking of is the correct word. Okay, no, it's not. This is quite good? Well, hell yeah, Collie. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. Cesaro's book would be a Conton City bestseller. Damn right, chicken. Damn straight. So I'm trying to think of a word. I thought the word I wanted was exasperated, but according to Google, exasperated means intensely irritated and frustrated. So that's not the word I was looking for. Does anybody know a word that might sound similar to that, but is like, you know, you're exhausted, you're tired, you know, you're huffing and puffing type of deal? Does anybody know a word? Because I swear to God, there's something similar to exasperated, but it's... Fatigued? I thought there was a word that sounded like exas, something like that, but the word fatigued can work. After having finished her most grueling training session yet, Zuki would turn to the window from which her father was watching her. And she says, Did I do good, Papa? She's barely able to get the words out. As her eyes begin to shut and she slowly Yeah, I mean, exhausted's not a bad word, but I don't know if it's ultimately the one that I'm looking for. She's barely able to get the words out as her eyes begin to shut, and she slowly falls toward the floor. And she says, Yeah, we'll just do exhausted for now. Exhaustedly. After having finished her most grueling training session yet, Zuki would turn to the window from which her father was watching her, and she says exhaustedly, Did I do good, Papa? She's barely able to get the words out as her eyes begin to shut, and she slowly falls towards the floor. Gordon emerges from the observation room and picks up his sleeping daughter up off the floor. He says quietly, Yeah, you better believe it, kid. Okay, so now from here, basically, Gordon is going to take Zuki to the healing chamber, and I think that this is where King Vegeta makes his entrance. Yeah, so let's figure out what we're gonna do here. The small Saiyan family has their own personal healing pod. Here, let me see here. Gordon then takes Zuki to the small Saiyan family's own personal healing pod. Yes, basically the water chamber that we see all kinds of characters get put into. Vegeta gets put in there after he gets beaten by Zarbon. Goku gets put in there after the whole ordeal with Ginyu, so... But yeah, Gordon then takes Zuki to the small Saiyan family's own personal healing pod, which submerges the body which completely submerges the body in a special type of healing liquid. Special type of fast-acting. Fast-acting healing liquid. I think I like that better. Okay. After having finished her most grueling training session yet, Zuki would turn to the window from which her father was watching her, and she says exhaustedly, Did I do good, Papa? She's barely able to get the words out as her eyes begin to shut and she slowly falls towards the floor. Gordon emerges from the observation room and picks up his sleeping daughter up off the floor. He says quietly, Yeah, you better believe it, kid. Gordon then takes Zuki to the small Saiyan family's own personal healing pod, which completely submerges the body in a special type of fast-acting healing liquid. As the liquid fills up the tank, who else does Gordon see in the reflection? Who else does Gordon see standing behind him in the reflection of the pod's window, but the leader of the leader of all Saiyans. Here we go. I get a little bit of a Vegeta reference in there. The leader of all Saiyans, King Vegeta. How does that sound? As the liquid fills up the tank, who else does Gordon... I think we should probably put a comma here. I'm not the best at punctuation or knowing exactly when one paragraph begins and another one ends. So, yeah, if there's anything that I would really appreciate you guys correcting me on is those two things. As the liquid fills up the tank, who else does Gordon see standing behind him in the reflection of the pod's window but the leader of all Saiyans, King Vegeta? Of all Saiyans, himself, King Vegeta. Gordon turns to the king and tells him, I see your timing is just as impeccable as ever. I've already finished my work and training with Zuki for the day. I have not had any plans to include Paragus in this. Paragus and Broly have not been anything that I've really thought of or wanted to include in this story, at least not in the times when I was thinking it up in my head. The king responds, yes, one of the many things that I've learned from you. So you see, this kind of establishes that there is, we've already said that Gordon was a Saiyan elite in his prime, and, it's much in part thanks to him that the Saiyans came out on top of the Saiyan Tuffle War. And this conversation here kind of establishes more of who Gordon is and how much respect he truly has. Because the king himself is essentially giving him a compliment. Gordon says, I see your timing is as impeccable as ever. And King Vegeta himself says, yeah, well, thanks to you, man. Right? So it's a little bit more casual and friendly, I think, in that matter, is kind of what gets established here. Gordon smirks and gives a small tilt of his head. But we both know Maison, hello, welcome in. Cesaro writing fanfic is real. My life is complete. Yeah. It's a good time, honestly. I'm enjoying myself a lot. I'm really enjoying doing this, especially since I've got some people to kind of talk to about it as I'm doing it as well. But yeah, welcome in, man. But we both know that you're not here to reminisce. Maybe we could just leave it at that. Gordon smirks and gives a small tilt of his head. But we both know that you're not here to reminisce. Got around 3 complete stories and over 80 OCs from it. What kind of stories are they? Just like... Are they also kind of like your own Dragon Ball headcanons or stuff from other anime, maybe? Or is it just completely original works, all your own? So let me think here. How do I want to go about the wording for some of this stuff? Because now they're going to go into the conversation about how something's up, Frieza's planning something, and we need to do something about it. That is correct. The king begins. Frieza is getting closer to making his move. And things may be worse than we thought. We have reason to believe that Frieza might be planning a genocide event against us. No, I really don't like that, because this is, by where we're at, this is not necessarily the first conversation that King Vegeta and Gordon have had about this. So this is not like breaking news. This is something that Gordon is kind of already aware of, and these are, you know, this is where they're at in their conversation. And they're already, you know, they're pretty much in the stage of forming a coup against Frieza, is basically where they're at right now. But, you know, it is something that's being kept under wraps. So Zuki doesn't know anything about this. You know, the regular populace of the Saiyans don't really know anything about this. This is, like, information for the top. You know. No, it's not like they're planning a coup against the Saiyans. They're planning a coup against Frieza, right? And we all know what Frieza does to the Saiyans. He blows them up along with their planet. So no, this isn't going to be like, oh, Gordon and Zuki are going to go rogue and they're working for Frieza and all this. No, they are very much on the side of their people. Yeah, in case you can't tell, I am writing this story with the idea that most people who are going to read it are familiar with Dragon Ball already. So I don't feel like I need to explain every last thing. But yeah, this conversation is just another part in an ongoing one big ongoing conversation, I guess. Tyrese, hello. Welcome in. We've actually got kind of a lot written down so far. Holy shit. It's a little bit more than I thought. But anyway. Gordon turns to the king and tells them, I see your timing is just as impeccable as ever. I've already finished my work in training Zuki for the day. The king responds, yes, One of the many things that I've learned from you. Gordon smirks and gives a small tilt of his head. Well, we both know that you're not here to reminisce. That's correct, the king begins. Frieza is getting closer to making his move, and things may be worse than we thought. We have reason to believe that Frieza might be planning a genocide event against us. You should put Bardock in the story? No. He doesn't fit into this. Because, see, the thing is I'm trying to fit this within the already established Dragon Ball timeline as it is. Right? So I'm not really trying to change around what a lot of the main characters that we know from the canon, you know, I'm not really trying to incorporate them. I am incorporating my own villains. I am incorporating villains that come in from the movies. But I am really trying to stick as close to the source material and the continuity as I possibly can. Things can kind of change after we get past the destruction of planet Vegeta. You know, there's going to be a lot more creative freedom once we get there, but I'm really trying to stay as close to the confines that I have for things that might have led up to Frieza eradicating the Saiyans, basically. You finished watching Demon Slayer. Nice, the Hashira training arc. Good stuff. I don't think that I've watched that, actually. I don't think I'm caught up. But anyway. I see. Says Gordon. As he scratches his chin. That certainly is a shift in plans from what he originally seemed to be doing by sending stronger warriors out on borderline suicide missions and trying to pick us off, I'll say team by team. I see, says Gordon as he scratches his chin. That certainly is a shift in plans from what he originally seemed to be doing, by sending stronger warriors out on borderline suicide missions and trying to pick us off team by team. The story's looking good so far? Well, hell yeah, Phoenix. I'm glad you think so. Yeah, don't worry about lurking, man. That is perfectly fine. Solo, hello. Welcome in. only about an hour and 50 minutes late. But yeah, dude, you've missed this much of the writing so far, dude. This story that you said you wanted to feast your eyes on for yourself and maybe do some editing for, you have missed this much. This much, but I can always just send this to you over Discord after stream is over if you want to give it a look over. Can someone... Yeah... Because I'm trying to think. Does anybody know the source of the scene? Because I'm pretty sure it's in the Broly movie. But does anybody know for sure what the source of the scene is where we see, like, King Vegeta and his small team infiltrating Frieza's spaceship and they just get wrecked? Because I know that happens, but I just forget where it is. I might need to review some of my source material so that way I can articulate this a little bit better. Also, is there anyone who's on PlayStation that can check the servers as well? Have I written other stuff before? A little bit in the past. Mostly just like assignments for school and, you know, essays and things of the like, but I haven't really taken on a full-scale story such as this ever in my life, so... It's very fun writing. Yeah, writing is fun. I haven't written, like, anything for fun in such a long time, but it's kind of a refreshing change of pace, I'm finding. You think it was the Bardock movie? I'm not so sure, because I swear I remember King Vegeta wearing his Dragon Ball Super outfit during that scene. You used to write Naruto fanfictions? That's cool. Were they, like, something more legitimate? Like, kind of what I'm doing here with the story of Zuki? Or is it some weird... one of those weird kind of fan fictions, if you catch my drift? Okay, but what do we have... What do we do next here? That certainly is a shift in plans from what he originally seemed to be doing by sending stronger warriors out on borderline suicide missions and trying to pick us off team by team. It's like him being in a different clan, or him not being in some situation. Okay, so it's more like proper what-ifs than it sounds like. Yes. And if... King Vegeta responds, yes, and if we don't think of something soon, if we don't do something soon, then we're all done for. That's why I've come to you for your expertise. Is there anything that we can do to stop this tyrant? Gordon lets out a rather defeated sigh. I don't know. We could try the power ball technique to have everyone on the planet transform into a great ape. We could try the Powerball technique to have everyone on the planet transform into a great ape for a full frontal assault. But if Frieza aims a blast, but Frieza is so powerful that if he aims a blast directly at the planet, but even then, Frieza is so powerful that if he aims a blast directly at the planet, I don't even know if the power of all the great apes will be enough to stop it. We could try the Powerball technique to have everyone on the planet transform into a great ape for a full frontal assault. But even then, Frieza is so powerful that if he aims a blast directly at the planet, I don't even know if the power of all the great apes combined will be enough to stop it. Servers are still down on PlayStation, alright. Well, I appreciate the update, Swish. I guess that just means we stick to writing stories then, huh? Be enough to stop it. And if the planet goes, then we all go. So how's that? So let me see. Frieza is getting closer to making his move, and things may be worse than we thought. We have reasons to believe that Frieza might be planning a genocide event against us. I see, says Gordon as he scratches his chin. That certainly is a shift in plans from what he originally seemed to be doing by sending stronger warriors out on borderline suicide missions and trying to pick us off team by team. King Vegeta responds, Yes, and if we don't think of something soon, then we're all done for. That's why I've come to you for your expertise. Is there anything that we can do to stop this tyrant? Gordon lets out a rather defeated sigh. I don't know. We could try the Powerball technique to have everyone on the planet transform into a great ape for a full frontal assault, but even then, Frieza is so powerful that if he aims a blast directly at the planet, I don't even know if the power of all the great apes combined will be enough to stop it. And if the planet goes, then we all go. Let's see, I want to double check a word here as well. Okay, yeah, that's actually perfect right there. The king retorts grimacingly. So what'll we do then? Great Ape Zuki? Yes, we are going to be getting some Great Ape Zuki, and we're probably going to be getting some Great Ape Zuki relatively soon. Great Ape training is part of Gordon's lesson plans for Zuki, so we will be delving into that a little bit in this story. Nice story so far. Very interestingly immersive. Well, hell yeah, Swish. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad that it's coming out good. I'm glad that most people seem to think that this is a very good first draft, because keep in mind there is some stuff that I've kind of glossed over and skipped over that I'm going to have to go back and do. But yeah, this is just a first draft. So by the time all's said and done, it's probably going to end up looking a little bit different. So it might even get more interestingly immersive. Who knows? So what'll we do then? Gordon pauses for a moment to think. We're gonna have our own DBCU. I think that's meaning like Dragon Ball Cinematic Universe. I wish, dude. Dude, can you imagine? Obviously, it's never gonna happen, but imagine this story actually gets picked up by Toei, and they're so interested in it that the story of Zuki ends up becoming a spin-off series for Dragon Ball. Like I said, that's never gonna happen, but wouldn't that be cool? Gordon pauses. I think I like the wording better. Pauses to think for a moment. Then says, then says rather unconfidently, perhaps our best bet would be to yes, Zuki is my main female Saiyan CAC that you're always seeing on stream. Perhaps our best bet would be to form Zamasu Goku Black, hello, welcome in. Would be to form a small team of our most powerful warriors to infiltrate Frieza's ship next time he arrives. If you were to write your story, it would probably take 2 years. Well, who knows how long this is ultimately going to take me. You'd love to voice act for Frigid or Igloo? Based on how you've described your voice solo, you'd have to be Frigid. I think you'd definitely have to be Frigid, man, for sure. I wrote my story and quit halfway in. Perhaps our best bet would be to form a small team of our most powerful warriors to infiltrate Frieza's ship next time he arrives. But will that be enough? Will we be strong enough to defeat Frieza? Asks the king in the most concerned way. I doubt it. Gordon rebukes. I don't know how to spell rebuke. Google help. Okay, so it's just UK. That doesn't look right. According to the internet, this is correct, but that just doesn't look like the correct spelling to me. You guys ever do that? You ever look at a word, you know, look at a correctly spelled word and been like, that can't be right? Because I feel like I do that kind of a lot. Gordon rebuked. But what else is there to try? I know what you mean when I look at my credit card balance. I think the same thing. Oh my fucking god, dude. Dork. But what else is there to try? Our only real hope is to try and catch Frieza off guard with a sneak attack. As powerful as he is. Okay, so how does this sound? The king retorts grimacingly. So what'll we do then? Gordon pauses to think for a moment, and then says, rather unconfidently, perhaps our best bet would be to form a small team of our most powerful warriors to infiltrate Frieza's ship next time he arrives. But will that be enough? Will we be strong enough to defeat Frieza? Asked the king in the most concerned way. I doubt it, Gordon rebuked. But what else is there to try? Our only real hope is to try and catch Frieza off guard with a sneak attack, as powerful as he is. The king rubs his beard in a frustrated manner. And then promptly slams his fist into a nearby desk. Damn it! He exclaims. Gordon Ramsay is a Saiyan confirmed? I don't think that that's how Gordon is spelt, because the way that I have Gordon spelt here, it's a pun off of the word gourd, right? I mean, it might be different, because I know over there in the UK, I know that things that are normally just spelt O-R are spelt O-U-R, right? But generally, Gordon is spelt without the U, and this is specifically really trying to be a pun on a gourd vegetable. Yeah, because I just looked up Gordon Ramsay, and yeah, his name is Gordon. But our Gordon is Gourdon. That's our Gordon. Damn it, he explains. Well, if that's all we have to work with, then I'll start forming a team. Well, if that's all we have to work with, then I'll start forming a team that I think is most capable of getting the job done. It's a shame one of the greatest minds of the Saiyan Tuffle War can't even figure out a way for us to fight our way out of this. But against an unstoppable force like him... Maybe, hold on, would it look better if I bolded it? An unstoppable force like him. There we go, I think I like that better. I think that emphasizes it in a better way. Maison went on Britain's Got Talent and won. Maison's won every Britain's Got Talent, actually. But against an unstoppable force like him, nothing short of an immovable object can save us now. I doubt it, Gordon rebuked. But what else is there to try? Our only real hope is to try and catch Frieza off guard with a sneak attack, as powerful as he is. The king rubs his beard in a frustrated manner, then promptly slams his fist into a nearby desk. Damn it, he explains. Well, if that's all we have to work with, then I'll start forming a team that I think is most capable of getting the job done. It's a shame one of the greatest minds from the Saiyan Tuffle War can't even figure out a way for us to fight our way out of this. But against an unstoppable force like him, nothing short of an immovable object can save us now. Well, I understand that you're trying your best. Hold on. I think it'd be better if I have him apologize. I'm sorry, Gordon. I understand that you're trying your best. With what's been given. I appreciate you doing all you can, doing all you've done for our race. But I think this is as far as this conversation can go. Cesaro could play King Vegeta in a live-action movie with that goatee. No, it couldn't be a prequel to Dragon Ball Evolution. No, sir, no. No, 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 no. Let's not put Dragon Ball Evolution, let's not put that title anywhere near the story of Zuki. Let's not do that. Well, I put gore and blood in the story, really detailed shit. I'm gonna try. I don't really know how to write fight scenes. I haven't tried to write a fight scene since I was in, like, elementary school, so I don't know that I'd be able to do something like that well, but I'm definitely gonna try. I'm sorry, Gordon. I understand that you're trying your best with what's been given. I appreciate you doing all you... I appreciate everything. Oops. You've done. But I think this is as far as this conversation can go. Imagine the fight in your head first, then write it. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that would be the natural progression of events. But it's putting the images in my mind into the correct kind of words, you know? You know, imagining the fight is no problem. It's how do I word that I think that I'm going to encounter problems with. I think maybe thank you for your consultation. And remember, not a word of this to anyone. I'll put this in italics. Of this to anyone. Understood. Gordon reassured the king as he takes his leave. Okay. This is how much we've written so far. Right? It's honestly kind of a lot. It's honestly kind of a lot that we have right now. So I think something that might be good to do at this point is take it from the top, because although there is a lot, there's not so much at this point. I don't think that going through everything that we have so far is a bad idea. You know, maybe I'll make a couple of notes to see like what more descriptors I can add, like regarding the fight and of Gordon and stuff like that. So the Saiyans have decided to mount a futile assault. How quaint. Do you genuinely believe a mere handful of monkeys could pose a significant threat to me? I could see Frieza saying that. No, there's probably not going to be any El Hermano. Here's some salt. I'll take a grain of it. All right, so let's read what we have so far. Our story begins on a planet named Vegeta. Planet Vegeta is the home of the Saiyan race, and on this planet, we find an older Saiyan named Gordon, and his daughter Zuki. Gordon is an older Saiyan. I definitely think that this would be a good place to add some more descriptors, but I'll come back to that. Although he may be past his prime, he is still a well-respected warrior due to his successful battle strategies that would ultimately aid in the Saiyans' victory in the Saiyan-Tuffle War. Since the Saiyans were indentured by the evil galactic overlord Frieza, he has since ceased his life as a warrior and has instead focused all of his time and energy into the creation and the refinement of the plant-like humanoids called Cybermen. When he's not buried knee-deep in his work, he spends the rest of his time raising and training his 5-year-old daughter named Zuki. With the aid of the Cybermen that he creates, Zuki has purple eyes and long, spiky, dark mahogany-colored hair, and is very much eager to grow stronger and learn all she can from her well-known and well-respected father, a Saiyan elite. Gordon has just finished his work for the day and is about to get Zuki prepared for her daily training, which she has already gotten a head start on by doing basic exercises such as push-ups, sit-ups, and things of the like in their training room while she awaits her father. "All right, Zuki," Gordon says as he enters the room. "It's time to begin your training for today. The training I've been giving you so far has been mere child's play. It's time for us to take things more seriously. From here on out, things are going to get serious." Zuki responds, "Okay, Papa, I'm ready. I've been waiting for this. I can't wait to show you the results of my training." Gordon then says, "Up until now, I've been pitting you up against groups of weaker Cybermen, as those are the types of battles we Saiyans often face. But today will be different. Today, you will only be fighting one Cyberman, but it will be of a similar power level to your own, perhaps even slightly greater." Zuki, with a bright look in her eye, excitedly says, "Right, I'm ready." Gordon then plants a Cyberman seed into a large planting pot that he brought in with him. From the pot emerged a somewhat grotesque little creature, similar in size to the young Zuki. The creature's skin was of an orange-ish hue and had menacing claws on both hands and feet, and had a rather veiny-looking head. It let out a shrill shriek as it emerged. "Well now, since you have your opponent, I will reside in the observation chamber and see how you fare. If anything goes sideways, I will put a stop to this training session. But I don't believe that I'll have any reason to do that. Now will I?" Gordon proclaimed proudly. "No way!" Zuki shouted. "I'm gonna beat the living daylights out of this Cyberman." Gordon let out an amused scoff and made his way to the observation room. Zuki would ultimately win her fight. Yeah, so I'm going to make a note. Add more details of the fight here. Zuki would ultimately win her fight against this Cyberman, but she would not emerge victorious without a struggle. Zuki would have several bruises and perhaps a couple of minor fractures. After having finished her most grueling training session yet, Zuki would turn to the window from which her father was watching, and she says exhaustedly, Did I do good, Papa?" She's barely able to get the words out as her eyes begin to shut and she slowly falls towards the floor. Gordon emerges from the observation room and picks up his sleeping daughter up off the floor. Here. I think we'll get rid of that. No reason to have the word up there twice, I don't think. He says quietly, "Yeah, you better believe it, kid." Gordon then takes Zuki to the small Saiyan family's own personal healing pod, which completely submerges the body in a special type of fast-acting healing liquid. As the liquid fills up to the tank, who else does Gordon see standing behind him in the reflection of the pod's window but the leader of all Saiyans himself, King Vegeta? Gordon turns to the king and tells him, "I see your timing is just as impeccable as ever. I've already finished my work and training with Zuki for the day." The king responds, "Yes, one of the many things I've learned from you." Gordon smirks and gives a small tilt of his head. "But we both know that you're not here to reminisce." "That is correct," the king begins. "Frieza is getting closer to making his move, and things may be worse than we thought. We have reason to believe that Frieza might be planning a genocide event against us." "I see," says Gordon as he scratches his chin. "That certainly is a shift in plans from what he originally seemed to be doing by sending stronger warriors out on borderline suicide missions and trying to pick us off team by team." King Vegeta responds, "Yes, and if we don't think of something soon, then we're all done for. That's why I've come to you for your expertise. Is there anything that we can do to stop this tyrant?" Gordon lets out a rather defeated sigh. "I don't know. We could try the Powerball technique to have everyone on the planet transform into a great ape for a full frontal assault. But even then, Frieza is so powerful that if he aims a blast directly at the planet, I don't even know if the power of all the great apes combined will be enough to stop it. And if the planet goes, then we all go." The king retorts grimacingly, "So what'll we do then?" Gordon pauses to think for a moment, then says rather unconfidently, "Perhaps our best bet would be to form a small team of our most powerful warriors to infiltrate Frieza's ship next time he arrives." "But will that be enough? Will we be strong enough to defeat Frieza?" asks the king in the most concerned way. "I doubt it," Gordon rebuked. "But what else is there to try? Our only real hope is to try and catch Frieza off guard with a sneak attack, as powerful as he is." The king rubs his beard in a frustrated manner and then promptly slams his fist into a nearby desk. "Damn it!" he exclaims. "Well, if that's all we have to work with, then I'll start forming a team that I think is most capable of getting the job done. It's a shame one of the greatest minds," I think I like the idea of it being from the Saiyan Tuffle War, "can't even figure out a way for us..." This is so weirdly worded, I think. "Can't even figure out a way for us to fight our way out of this." Can't figure out a way for us to win this. I think that's a little bit better in how it's worded. "But against an unstoppable force like him, nothing short of an immovable object can save us now. I'm sorry, Gordon. I understand that you're trying your best with what's been given. I appreciate everything you've done for our race, but I think this is as far as this conversation can go. Thank you for your consultation. And remember, not a word of this to anyone." "Understood," Gordon reassured the king as he takes his leave. Saffron, hello! Welcome in! No, it's not necessarily a reimagining of Planet Vegeta. It's much more than that. This is the story of Zuki, my man. As the title states. Did I finish my tea? I did finish my tea. Time for some water. You love the story so far. You'll add the fight details. That won't be too hard. So the one thing that I have established about the fight, I spoke of it earlier on in the stream. I don't think that you were here yet. But Zuki does ultimately win, and she finishes the fight with either a full power energy ball or a full power energy wave. And of course, she's not unscathed. She takes significant damage as well. Maybe that's something that we can work together on. Because I definitely want to make sure that it comes out, in in my vision. But yeah, I certainly would appreciate helping with the fight details, because I think that's something that I'm going to struggle with overall with this story, truth be told. Tyrese, welcome back. El Hermano style. Yeah, a lot. I feel like I've been seeing a lot of people in chat mention that they've colored their custom Pride Trooper clothes to be like that of El Hermano. It seems to be a very popular thing amongst the player base. So Zuki's story still has the cast characters in it. You tend to try and leave most, if not all, cast characters out, but that's just me. Yeah, well, this is my story that I'm writing, right? And I'm really trying to stick to the confines of what is in the source material. I'm really trying my best to stick to the source material, especially early on here. Of course, you know, this is basically a fan fiction writing, so of course there's going to be some creative liberties taken here and there. But I do want to incorporate existing cast characters because it kind of adds to that. Once we get off of Planet Vegeta, there's not going to be too much of that outside of movie villains. I will be introducing movie villains in... as well as my own original villains as well, so don't worry about that. But, yeah. I think it's good for something like this to include existing cast characters. I think it makes it much more interesting, and it ties it into the main canon a little bit better. Obviously, this isn't canon, but I'm trying to have it along that timeline. She's a Saiyan, and the origins must include Planet Vegeta. I mean, yeah, because where else is she going to come from, you know? When do we get to the Time Patrol roar? The Time Patrol isn't a part of Zuki's actual backstory. Like, when I made Zuki in Xenoverse, like, this is kind of like the beginnings that I was thinking of. I never thought of her as being part of the Time Patrol or anything like that. So, the odds of Supreme Kai of Time ever showing up at all is slim to none. You know, but yeah. You'll call Toei, so this can be canon. Is Cesaro about to get a publishing deal? More STP than he can count. I wish, man. Solo, since you have confirmed that you would like to kind of work as an editor on this, the two biggest things, I am not very familiar with, like, where paragraphs begin and where paragraphs end, and my punctuation is also not very good. I think that those would be the biggest things, if you're familiar with all that stuff, like, those would be the biggest things that I really need help with. As well as, kind of collaborating on fight scenes. Let's see, how long have I been going? 2 hours and 40 minutes? Okay. I'll see if, we'll see if I can't get a little bit more written out here, ouch, on stream. I was really hoping that I would be able to get to Planet Vegeta's destruction, because I was thinking about this a lot last night before I went to bed, And I think the way that I'm gonna try and go about the destruction of Planet Vegeta is gonna come across like really powerful. The way that I have it cooking up in my head, I really think that I'm gonna be able to write that scene really well and really convey some emotions. Really only kept King Vegeta and Frieza in yours for the time being. Yeah, mine's Truth be told, this is a story that I originally started cooking up in my noodle back in 2017, and probably from spring to like winter or something, I would have been thinking up of ideas for this. Unfortunately, I don't recall all of them, and very few of these ideas ever actually made it to paper, but yeah. Cesaro, the next Dragon Ball Daima storyteller. Why's it gotta be Daima, though? Why can't I tell my own Dragon Ball stories? You did well in English class, so that won't be a problem. Sick. Again, I do greatly appreciate your help, Solo. Am I implementing canon transformations and stuff like Zuki canonically obtains God and stuff? So, yes, I also want to try and find some fights, or at least some situations, where Great Ape can be useful. Basically, what we're going to be going on from here is Gordon is going to be doing some Great Ape training with Zuki, is kind of the next thing I want to start leaning into. But yeah, I'm going to be using as much canon stuff as I possibly can. Like I said, I really want to stick as close to the source material as I can for, you know, all of the powers and the magic and all of that stuff that's within Dragon Ball. I have an inkling on how Zuki is going to obtain God Ki and become a Super Saiyan God and all that, but it's really not fleshed out. It's literally just little bullet points in my head. Been years in the making? Not so much, because there would have been a huge gap. Sure, I started this in 2017, but from 2018 till now, it's all been in the back of my mind at best, you know? So it's not like there's been a whole lot of work that's been put into it, but I do kind of have a flow of where the story's gonna go, who Zuki's gonna fight. You know, I admit that it's not the most well thought out thing, and there's gonna be a lot of stuff that I kind of put down on paper as we go along, but there's a lot of, like, there's an outline, right? There's an outline I got going on in my head. Super Saiyan 4 Zuki, probably not. We probably won't see Super Saiyan 4. Controlling the Great Ape is a challenge. Neither Goku nor Gohan could control it. But remember, Zuki is a Saiyan Elite. Her father was a Saiyan Elite, and so is she. I am planning on making it a bit of a struggle. It's not like I'm just going to give her full control immediately. She is going to struggle with it, and she's going to struggle with it for a little bit. But yeah, there is going to be some more Great Ape stuff than I think you actually see in the regular continuity. Also, no, this was asked yesterday towards Zuki, but you had your character obtain Super Saiyan the natural way with anger, not the back tingles BS. Raptor Red, hello. Welcome in, man. Welcome in. So, truth be told, like I said, a lot of the story really is just an outline in my head. And I don't know exactly what's going to lead to Zuki obtaining Super Saiyan. But I can tell you guys at least that the back tingle is definitely not going to be the main thing. I might mention, like, you know, I mean, there wouldn't really be any reason, like if there's ever a time when Zuki describes what it's like to go Super Saiyan, she might mention that she gets this weird feeling in her back, but that would be the extent of it. That is not going to be like, oh, focus on those tingles type of thing. I definitely want something a bit more traditional and fleshed out for her to obtain Super Saiyan. I definitely want it to be more impactful. I'm gonna learn vicariously from Dragon Ball Super's mistakes, man. You know, don't you worry. I'm not gonna make Zuki's Super Saiyan transformation be make it seem like it's unearned and underwhelming as a transformation. Super Saiyan 100 Zuki? Sure. Zuki is similar to Nappa. He was also an elite. Yeah, you could say that. You could say that she's similar to Nappa in that regard. Dragon Ball The Breakers already added Super Saiyan 4, but not Xenoverse 2. Please add Super Saiyan 4 for future updates. I agree, Tyrese. You, me, and the rest of the community, too. So Zuki is not an elite with pride getting in the way like Vegeta. I have never envisioned Zuki as a particularly prideful character, or at least not an overly prideful character. So yeah, I guess that would be that would be an accurate thing to say. Zuki gets a back massage and accidentally goes Super Saiyan. Golly, dude. Oh, golly. The Super Saiyan transformation originally required a traumatic event. Yeah, something along those lines, right? How far am I with Zuki? So she has gotten through her first training session with one of her father's Cybermen, and she is currently recovering in a healing pod. That's where we're at. Okay, if there's anything for sure, I think that I can make this next thing a paragraph. Because we're kind of going into the next day now. In fact, as we're talking about it, I might be cooking up a potential idea for how Zuki goes Super Saiyan. Again, it's not super fleshed out, but I'm starting to see some stuff form in my head about a way that I might be able to go about it. Okay, let's try and at least get a start on the next day and lean into Zuki's training as a Great Ape. That's something that we're going to lean into, but I don't know about how much more creative juices I have left. I feel like I spent a lot really focusing on this dialogue, so we'll see what we can do going forward. So I guess we can just start it simple, right? You know, it'd be like, the following day after Zuki has finished recovering in the healing pod. Zuki kind of got Yamcha'd? No. Well, maybe. I could maybe write that the Cyberman blows up on her but doesn't make a clean connection. That might not be a bad thing. That might not be a bad route to take. But you can't really say that she... I mean, yes, but she wins her fight against the Cyberman, right? She wins her fight. So... You know, she didn't come out of it unscathed, but that's all part of Gordon's plan, right? He's trying to get her as many Zenkais as he can before he sends her off planet. You're thinking, what if during the fight she is injured so severely that it triggers something within her and she taps into a dormant power? I think we're a little too early for that. I think that we are way too early to be fucking around with stuff like this. I like the idea of Gordon trying to get Zuki's Zenkais for the time being. I feel like Zenkais are the right way to go for early on in this story. Zuki is 5 years old at this point. Brian Beast, hello, welcome in. Have I considered doing manga? I did state earlier on in the stream that I don't have the artistic talent to draw out manga, but if I could, that would definitely be my preferred way to tell this story. I would much prefer being able to put this into manga form if I could, but unfortunately, due to my skill set, this is the best that I can do. Maybe one of these days I'll bump into an artist who likes this story so much that they're willing to work with me and do manga panels for me, but I don't think that that's going to happen for a very long time at best. Why not just practice? Because life is a busy thing, good sir, you know. I got everything going on in life on top of everything that I'm doing on YouTube. You know, learning to draw, I don't think is in the cards for me. Following day after Zuki has finished recovering in the healing pod. What if Zuki joins Turles in his Crusher Corps? Turles is going to show up as, like, one of the first major villains. So there will not be joining any Turles. There will not be any joining of Turles' Crusher Corps. In fact, Turles makes a remark to Zuki that makes Zuki hate him. Like, Zuki is going to hate Turles once he comes in. You're currently trying to improve your art, and maybe in the future you could manga the story. Well, hell yeah, Brian. I certainly do appreciate that. Maybe something you can do as like a little bit of practice is maybe you can try and draw Zuki. I'll pull Zuki up on my PlayStation real quick, and then maybe you can be the first person to make fan art for the channel. How's that sound, Brian? You want to be the first person to make some fan art? All right, yeah, sure. Let me pull her up real quick. That's her. That is Zuki. Is Zuki's mother kinda like how Gine was? So Zuki's mother, Letta, has already passed away at this point. I am gonna have Gordon have a conversation with Zuki about her mother a little bit here before Planet Vegeta gets destroyed. But if you guys want to know a little bit about Letta, she does not want the Saiyans to be under Frieza's thumb. She does not want the Saiyans to be a bunch of people that go around conquering planets. She wants something better for her daughter Zuki. Like, she wants change within the Saiyan race. She really does. Yes, Oliver, I did mention Oliver before. He is going to be a villain that shows up much later in the story. Oliver is a villain character. A fun fact, you know, I'm not going to really worry. Like, you guys are asking a lot of questions, so I'm going to ask anyway. You know, I've been spoiling a whole shit ton of stuff in stream anyway. But do you guys mind me like skipping far ahead for details that I know and kind of explaining them before we get there in the writing? That's fine. I don't mind. We could organize everything after. Yeah. But yeah, Oliver is a Tuffle. And I know that yesterday I did mention that Zuki lives on a planet that's similar to, like, Jabba the Hutt's planet. Right? It's a planet of mostly, like, mercenaries and bounty hunters and people who will do missions in general. It doesn't necessarily have to be a fight, but maybe someone wants somebody to go and do something sneaky, get some recon or something like that. So there's all kinds of stuff that people are doing on this planet that Zuki eventually ends up at. And Oliver is a denizen of that planet, and he is actually a Tuffle. And what he is doing is he has made a deal with Zuki to essentially give her some DNA, so he'll take a hair strand here, a blood sample there, you know. He's trying to get his hands on some Saiyan DNA, so that way he can splice it with his own to make himself stronger as a Tuffle Saiyan hybrid. So that's who Oliver is and what he's all about. He's a few-like character. I mean, as a Tuffle, he's not, like, super strong, but he is super smart, like what Tuffles are. I don't know if there's any continuity where Few was doing, like, DNA and gene splicing. He's more of a guy that I know fucks around with timelines to kind of figure out what if, right? But, you know, Oliver, starting out, is much more of a scientist, and he specializes in genetics and gene splicing and stuff like that. So, I don't know exactly how direct of a comparison that is, but... He does ask the CIC for blood samples? Huh, I don't remember that. But yeah, something tells me that Few's plans for a blood sample might be a little bit different than Oliver's, because Oliver is trying to do gene splicing on himself. So, Few up to this point seems like he's really interested in doing things to other people. But yeah, I don't know. Brian, if you are still watching, if you do need to keep a picture of Zuki for point of reference, I advise you take a screenshot right about now, because I'm probably going to be swapping back over to the what's it called? To the actual writing. You took a picture? Okay, good shit, dude. Good shit. Perfect. A Tuffle with Saiyan potential sounds like a threat greater than Frieza. See, I thought it was a really cool idea. I thought it was a really fun concept for a Dragon Ball character. Who are all the other CACs that I have? So, as you know, I have 2 PSN accounts, and I have even more like empty accounts, I guess is a good word for them, on my PlayStation that also have save data for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, and I've made a shit ton of characters just on empty PlayStation profiles that don't have any kind of like email connected to them, so they're not like a full-fledged account. So technically I have a shit ton. I have a shit ton of other CACs, but I think the main ones you guys might want to know about for now is I have a character named Shawnee who is going to become a very close friend of Zuki's after she leaves the destruction of Planet Vegeta. She's going to go to one planet before the Mos Eisley planet. She's going to go to a planet called, the name that I came up for it was Tivne, Planet Tivne. And basically all of the characters there are going to have names that are inspired by the names of Native American tribes. And so Shawnee is the name of a tribe that I actually have some ancestors from, interestingly enough. Will Zuki ever visit Earth? No, there's not any plans for that. She doesn't really interact with the main cast of characters. Like I said, after we get off Planet Vegeta, the only kinds of characters that are going to be familiar from the cast are going to be movie characters, pretty much. And otherwise, I'm going to be having mostly my own original characters that I came up with. So we're not really going to be seeing any Goku or Vegeta or Piccolo or really anybody from Earth. So Tivne is actually spelt like this. I'm going to put it in chat. It's actually spelt like Tivne. But yeah, she ends up on planet Tivne, and these are, I'm not going to call them primitive people, but they are not reliant on technology very much. They're a pretty strong people. They're definitely stronger than most Earthlings, but I'd say they're not quite on the same level as Saiyans, but they're pretty close. They're very comparable in terms of power, is what I'll say. And she spends time there. That's where she meets and fights Turles. Turles comes in with the Tree of Might, and because this is a planet that is just abundant with wildlife and just sprouting with plants and all this, there's a lot of life energy in there. So it's a prime target for Turles to show up with the Tree of Might. Zuki takes care of that situation, and from there she decides that she wants to go out into the universe to try and see if there are any more Saiyan survivors, and specifically if there are any Saiyan survivors out there that are good people, is what Zuki's goal is after she... So she leaves planet Tivne, and she ends up... I haven't named the planet yet, but she ends up on the Bounty Hunter planet. And from there, she meets Scargo, who is a banished Namekian. Scargo was straight up banished from his home planet. He's... I don't know about how old he is, but Scargo has been around for a while. This planet is also where she meets Frigid and Igloo, who are people that are against Frieza's regime. They want Frieza out of there. They don't look to him as a leader or as anyone to look up to at all. Scargo had a brother, in a sense, because when Scargo was born, he was such a powerful Namekian that they decided to use the technique where they split the good and the evil side. But Scargo himself, in his youth, was never really evil, but he was, like, mischievous and what would be another word? He's mischievous, and, you know, he gets in trouble. He gets in trouble, but he's not a bad kid, right? And his brother, right, the good half that got split from him, his name is Eska. So we've got Eska and Scargo. Escargo. See what I did there? But there's basically a situation that happens on Namek. There's an enemy that's too powerful for the two of them to fight separately. Eska gets fucked up really bad, and so Scargo reabsorbs Eska. Now, that's where Scargo... And because he did that, because fusing with Namekians is supposed to be a forbidden technique, they banish him from the planet. And so he ends up on the Mos Eisley planet for most of his time before he meets Zuki. Let's see. So, one of the Namekian elders is not exactly a good guy. He's a bit of an evil Namekian himself. He performs a spell that removes Eska's essence from Scargo, and that essence becomes a dark Namekian or an evil Namekian. I forget what exactly the name is. But that newborn Namekian, born from Eska's essence, is named Bass, named after a bass guitar, right? Because sometimes Namekians are named after musical instruments, like Piccolo, right? The woodwind instrument. And so Bass basically has his own thing going on where he is sapping Scargo's power. As Scargo gets weaker, Bass gets stronger, and that's a whole conflict that I have going on the side for Scargo. So that's a handful of characters that I just dumped on you. Some other characters that we are going to get introduced to a little bit later down the line are failed experiments to recreate Majin Buu by Bibbidi. And these three Majins are called Al, Akka, and Zam. Naming them after Toriyama's naming scheme of magic words, Alakazam, right? See what I did there with their names? But yeah, Al, Akka, and Zam basically kind of follow the story of the Billy Goat's Gruff. Like, you remember the three goats, and there's a troll underneath the bridge. It kind of follows that, except, like, it's like three trolls instead of three goats, right? But yeah, Al, Akka, and Zam are basically Bibbidi's failed attempts to recreate Majin Buu, and they would have been something that he would have worked on before he decided to just finally say, oh, fuck it, I'll just go find the original one then. So that's another story that is going to be coming up, but much further down the line. The last character that I kind of want to mention here is a character named Eve. Now, Eve is a very interesting character because she acts as almost like a god of destruction, but for Otherworld. I don't know if you guys, if I've really ever shown you guys what Eve looks like, but basically, her base form, she just kind of looks like your typical angel. You know, she's got white hair. She doesn't really have a whole lot of detail in the eyes. Her eyes are mostly white, but you can kind of see, like, the outline of the pupils there. Maybe next time we do this, I'll pull up all of my characters for you guys to look at before we actually get started into writing. But Eve is essentially a god of destruction, but specifically for Otherworld. And somewhere along the lines in the story, Zuki is going to die and visit Otherworld and encounter Eve and stuff like that. But Eve's base form is very angelic, but she has a transformation. I don't know how many of you out there have ever seen Bleach, but the way that I kind of imagine it is like Ulquiota's second transformation. You know, that's kind of what it looks like. So she's kind of got like an angel and a devil in her, in a sense. Yeah, Zuki is going to die, and her friends, you know, Scargo, Frigid, and Igloo, they're on a quest to figure out what they can do to get a set of Dragon Balls, regardless of what planet they get them from. I think they're going to try it a few different places, but I have my own idea for how I'm going to do Dragon Balls. But yeah, Don't worry, she will, you know, nobody ever really stays dead in Dragon Ball, right? So don't you worry your pretty little head about that. You're very curious how Zuki's interaction with Frigid? Yeah, I didn't really have ideas for the nitty-gritty into character interactions when I was thinking of all this stuff. Like I said, this is a very rough outline that I have going on in my head. But that'll probably be pretty interesting to explore, because Frigid is kind of like a stern, serious, edgy kind of guy, you know, and... So Eve is like a coin. She has two sides, essentially. That's very awesome, actually. Hell yeah. Thank you, Proto Man. You like the original characters and the diversity a lot? Hell yeah, Chicken. Glad that you're I'm glad that you guys are really eating up all of these ideas that I have for my own Dragon Ball story. I think that this is going to be a really fun process typing this up with you guys. But yeah, is there any other interesting little snippets that I can think of off the top of my head that I can share with you guys? Like I said, I do want to try and find some utility for Great Ape. That is one thing that I really want to do. I actually want to see if I can find clever, fun, interesting ways to incorporate that transformation. Maybe have her do some kind of battle where she goes Great Ape alongside of Scargo going giant, right? The fact that I make my characters different from one another is nice. Well, thanks, man. I certainly hope that not all of these characters are coming across as just the same copy-pasted character over and over. That would really suck. Yeah, you could compare Frigid to Vegeta. You could say that. Just for fun, idea just out of curiosity, if voiced, since you have the voice line of Vados actress, will she sound like Vados or something different in your head the actress can pull off? So, I mean, honestly, if I'm being truthful with you, I have listened to, I think it's Voice 9. I think it's Voice 9, right? I have listened to that voice coming out of Zuki's mouth so much that, like, that's the voice. Voice 9 in Xenoverse 2 is Zuki's voice, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Nasu. Let me talk about Nasu a little bit, actually. Zuki's half-brother. So he is somewhat of a Saiyan prodigy himself. He was really strong. Frieza actually hand-picked him to basically be a black operative for the Ginyu Force. Right? So, I don't know how or if I'm going to be able to explain it this early on in the story, but when we get to Nasu, basically Nasu is the one who's feeding this information. This is why King Vegeta and everybody has an inkling of Frieza committing genocide against the Saiyans. Nasu's been their inside man. Nasu, after a lot of shit happens, joins the Galactic Patrol as an undercover agent. So he doesn't, like, dress up in the Galactic Patrol thing. He works undercover, so he wears more casual stuff, right? But that's essentially who Nasu is. He's kind of off doing his own Galactic Patrol work for the most part. He works separately from Zuki, but there are going to be times where they meet up. The Oliver arc is one that I had planned for them to meet up and actually work and fight together. So that's a little bit on Nasu. Anyone or anything else that I can really go over just right quick? I was thinking of having another male Saiyan survivor who's kind of a dweeb, who's like trying to compete with Zuki here and there on missions and stuff like that. Oh, I earned more money than you did. I did more missions than you did this week and whatnot. You know, kind of like maybe a Kakashi and Guy kind of thing. You know how Kakashi, like, pretty much just brushes off a lot of the shit that Guy says, and Kakashi doesn't really give a fuck about what Guy's going on about. I was thinking about maybe having a Saiyan character in there like that for Zuki to interact with, named Pota, who has a Namekian friend of his own named Luco, who technically isn't even a Namekian anymore, at least not in the mind. You see, Namekians are highly inspired by slugs and snails, and there's actually a fungus out there that pretty much takes control of the mind of slugs and snails. And basically, that's what happened to Luco. His name isn't even Luco. That's the name that the fungus calls itself, right? So, I really want to show you guys some of these characters, and maybe that's something that we'll do on the next stream that we do like this, is I'll just go through all of the CACs that I have, and I'll show you what we got and kind of what my plans are for them before we get started on actually writing. I kind of like the idea of Silver because he has, like, the gray coloring on him, so I think Silver might fit Frigid better. Plus, black and silver is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, color combination. So that's not a bad idea, Solo. That's not a bad idea. I don't dislike that by any means. But yeah, Luco. He, very much inspired by a real-life fungus that takes over the brains of snails and slugs. And that's basically his story. He's a Namekian that's essentially lost his mind and his soul to this fungus, and now the fungus inhabits his body. But yeah, that's everything that I can think of to share off of the top of my head in that regard. Let me make sure that I actually save this fucking thing, because I don't want to end up not having this. Where should I save this? What makes sense? And I'll just put it on this hard drive, I guess. And we'll put the story of Zuki. And that'll be an easy place to find it. Save. Cool. Yeah, Raptor, there's a very similar fungus that works on snails. I might be able to find it. Let's see, snail parasite, I think is what it is. Yeah, okay, so I named Leuco after the Leucochloridium paradoxum, is what it's called. That's where I got the name for Leuco from. This is what it is, in case you want to look it up. Oh, Mega Prime, hello. So that form would be like the black Frieza color scheme. I mean, it would be more like Silver Frigid, right? It's kind of similar to Frieza, but Frieza is like black and white. I think the silver would set it apart enough, I think. Does the character have a companion or pet that follows her around? No. She doesn't have anything like that. You can just imagine this team, they're trying to be super strong. The Pota and Leuco tag team, oh yeah. They're trying to be strong, but they aren't really. I don't know if they're actually going to make it into the final draft of the story, but they are some ideas that I ended up throwing in the mix. I think Platinum Frigid is better. You're thinking when she visits these planets, she learns about the culture. Zuki's more in it for the thrill and the paycheck. Like, of course, she cares about the people that she's taking jobs for and the people that she's fighting for and all that, but she's... I've never really imagined her being, like, that... what's the people that study culture? Anthropologists? I never really imagined her as an anthropologist. Okay, well, here is what I'm going to say about today's stream, guys. I'm going to call this a raging success. You guys seem super engaged. We've managed to maintain, honestly, a pretty solid, a pretty normal amount of viewers for basically the whole stream. So it seems to me like this is being really, really well received. So I definitely think that we're going to be doing another stream like this one. You know, I think it's nice to have something chill, something a little bit different, right? Something to kind of mix it up, but still be Dragon Ball related. So all of my my regulars and all of my main viewers and all that can enjoy and relate to what I'm doing and what I'm talking about and what I'm writing. So I definitely think that this is not going to be the last time we do something like this. I'm thinking that we might do a little bit of variety in how I do it as well. Like, maybe I'll do some writing off stream, but when I get back into another stream like this, I will read you guys what I wrote, so that way nobody's missing anything. So there might be a little bit of off-stream writing, but because of how good this first stream went, man, I'm thinking that I'm gonna want to do most of this on stream with you guys. You know, you guys can kind of do some live editing for me. Be like, ah, no, you missed a comma here. No, the paragraph should start there. Ah, no, you should reword this, you know. Like I said, I'm not going to be taking every suggestion that gets thrown my way. At the end of the day, it is still my story that I'm trying to write. So, a little bit of help here and there, completely and totally acceptable, but I definitely don't want anybody to be, like, backseat writing for me, or ghost writing for me, I guess maybe would be a better way to put it. Well, hell yeah, Phoenix. Glad to hear it. Streams like this could be good as like something to do while we wait for raids to end after we finish getting 100k. Just a thought. Yeah, it's something that we could do to replace all of the like TP metal farming. Of course, it's probably not going to be like every Thursday that we do that. We'll probably still TP metal farm before raids on occasion as well, but this seems like it's... I enjoyed this stream, honestly. I really liked this stream. I didn't have to sit down and get frustrated at Xenoverse disconnecting the lobbies and having to deal with all that shit today. So this was an excellent stream. I've had a lot of fun, honestly. I really like this kind of chill vibe we got going. We're just chatting about Dragon Ball and my story and all this. And I really appreciate you guys taking interest in seeing this story finally really make it to paper and somewhat come to life, you know? I'm honestly really surprised at the result of this stream. I thought maybe I was going to maintain the attention of like half a dozen people, but I had like twice that or more for pretty much the whole damn stream. So I am extremely happy and extremely thankful for you guys for tuning into this one for sure. For your main character is training to be the next Supreme Kai time. That's cool. That's a cool concept. Well, hell yeah, Swish. Certainly do appreciate you leaving a like. And before I go on ahead and get out of here, make sure if you have not left a like Swish did, make sure you do. You want to be cool like Swish, don't you? Of course you do. Anyway, last thing before I start doing my outro, folks. For anyone who is here and is enjoying the community or enjoys what I do, this is my Discord. So if you really like what's going on here, this is a great place to get pings from me whenever I go live. I know that YouTube isn't exactly the best. You know, their notification system is not the best. So that's a good alternative way to make sure you are keeping up with all my streams right when they're starting. So if that's up your alley, you know where to go. It's right there for you in chat. We will be doing another stream like this. Maybe we'll find out some time to do like what chat said. Maybe we'll do a little bit of writing before we do raids. Those are usually my most popular streams, are the ones where I do raids. So maybe we can get even more eyes on this story by doing something like that. Or maybe we can make it a regular to semi-regular Friday thing. Or maybe just when I have some spare time, maybe I can hop on for a short stream and do some writing with you guys on something like that. But yeah, like I said, I had a lot of fun with this stream. I really enjoyed this, so I definitely will be doing some more of it again. So make sure you're keeping an eye out for all of the good stuff that's going to be coming out on this channel, both near and far in the future. But anyway, folks, with all that being said, I do believe that that's going to be about my cue to bounce. Certainly do hope that you enjoyed watching just as much as I enjoyed presenting tonight. And until we meet again, make sure you take care. See ya.